This is to certify that movie
Twats.
has been classified for live streaming.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, there's no Big Steve tonight, but it is the big man's birthday. So before I have a guest that's waiting in the wings for us, before I do that, I wanted to just do this one for you, big man.
It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
About as good as you're going to get, Steve, but happy birthday, buddy. I hope you're having a good time. And hopefully you can watch this back. So thank you very much, everybody. So obviously with Steve not being here tonight, we're going to go and just have a bit of a chit chat and see how we get on. I've got Dave here from Savage Zombie Reviews, who's kindly offered to step in for Steve. He's almost like the doppelganger, but the better looking one. So I'm going to bring him on now. So thank you very much.
No worries, mate. Thank you for bringing me on. That lovely words, mate. Lovely words.
Well,
I agree with you.
I mean, the thing is that Steve's a bit older today, so he definitely looks older than you now. So, yeah. But yeah, that's it. Because Steve's not here, we're just going to have a bit of a chat and just see where it goes. Obviously, if you've got any comments, pop it in the chat. You've got any questions or anything. Obviously, Dave's been on a few times now, so he's a regular to the channel. Hey, Kevin. Yeah. I'll tell you what, every time Kevin comes in and says from Lakeland, Florida, I do wish I was there, honestly. Although, to be fair, it's been a little bit better on the weather today, because usually it's been pissing it down for the last 2 weeks, I remember. But thank you very much for joining, buddy. So, yeah, Dave, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Not too bad.
I was just complimenting you on your cup before we came on.
I know, I thought I'd show it off a little bit.
Big-ass, stunning cup, that, innit?
I wish it came with sound effects. That would be awesome.
I remember, like, when I used to work at Toys R Us many years ago, and I bought a Darth Vader cup. It was brilliant because it was when I think Episode 1 came out, and they obviously released all this Star Wars stuff. And I had this cup that when you lifted it up, it played the theme, and it was great. Right, okay. But the thing is, the cup was about this big, and the device under the bottom that you could take out was about that big. So you only got about this much of a brew. So it didn't get much purpose of actually using it for a cuppa, but yeah, I enjoyed that for a little while. I remember, slightly off topic, because I worked at Toys R Us when we took the display down. I got a life-size Darth Vader cut out. I was loving it until my little one was born, and me missus at the time had said to me, she was like, "We need to get rid of it." I was like, "Why?" She went, "Because it's scaring him."
Well, yeah, there is
that.
I
was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. Hey, Lindsay and Alvin, hope you're well.
Do you remember back in the day when you were kids? Do you remember like the squeezy water balls you could get? You could like fill them up and like squeeze them. Well, I remember when I was like 6, I had a Jason Voorhees one and a Freddy Krueger one.
At 6 years old.
Honestly, mate.
I think there was still a run there.
There you go. You know, it was the 80s, mate. No one cared. Yeah, we'll just buy your kid a Jason Voorhees.
And this is the thing. I mean, I remember one of the first movies I sat down and watched at Ate's house was RoboCop, and that scared the living crap out of me. But I must have only been about bloody 5 or 6 at the time.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, back in the day, mate, like, and you know, like a film made for like adults and stuff, there would be cartoon for kids based on it. Like RoboCop ended up being a cartoon, and a toy line came out and everything. It's like. It's even like I say, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Them movies, isn't it, from the 80s?
Yeah, it's like he was saying Nightmare on Elm Street. Like there were Freddy Krueger toys and everything. Like he was popular with kids, which is mind-boggling because the guy he kills kids. It just.
I'd seriously be questioning it though. If my kids were like, "I want the latest Freddy Krueger," like what? Where have you seen that?
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
you're terrified of him.
Mrs. Smith brought it into to school and put it on the telly for us.
I think what it was back in the day with the kids, they probably watched it from like Part 4 upwards, when Freddy Krueger's a bit more goofy and
Hey,
comedic.
Gareth.
If they would have watched the first one like I did when I was a kid, there's no fucking way you would have wanted a Freddy Krueger toy. You wouldn't have wanted
I'm just
anything
a
to
bit
do with it.
concerned that at 6 years old you had Freddy Krueger and
Yeah, what like squirty water balls? Yeah, honestly, I did. Just the fact that you could even buy them for kids at that time as well. Like, think about that.
God, can you imagine the outcry
The
now?
uproar now.
Hey, Junie.
Oh,
Hey, Belle.
tell me about it.
Can you imagine it now? It'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Bloody hell.
Oh,
But yeah,
like-
so we're slightly off topic, but how has it been then? How's your week been, mate?
yeah, it's been good. I've been off work since when was it? Monday. So it's been good. Because I work nights as well, my sleeping pattern is pretty fucked, man. So I've been trying to get into like a normal sleeper pattern. I'm kind of halfway there. I think
Yeah.
once I get into a normal sleeping routine, I'll be back at work then.
This-
so then
this
I'll
is
have
the
to like
thing,
go back.
I remember going back to Toys R Us, and when I was there, it was we did like over Christmas. There was always a nights team, and it's always sort of get your name forward for it because it was a lot
Yeah.
easier than days. You did
I
not
can
want to be in
imagine.
there on Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So nights was like, yeah, we'll definitely do it. And I remember it really messes you up.
Oh, it does.
Sort of going and trying to do them. I mean, I know that my brother's in a paramedic with the ambulances and stuff, and he
Right.
does like 2 days of nights and 2 days of days and all these sort of crazy shifts. And it's like my body clock could just be all over the show with that.
Yeah. I mean, I've just been doing just over a year of nights now.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it because I work at a good place and I work with a good team as well. So it's like the people I work with, I love them, you know what I mean? So that's kind of half the battle anyway, innit?
Yeah.
But I must admit, there are some weeks where like I'm so sleep deprived. Like I could easily go maybe like 3 or 4 days and I've had maybe 10 hours sleep. Because every time I try to sleep, there's like just everyone and their dog just seems to be outside my bedroom window during the day for a period of fucking 10 hours. You know, and it just the noise.
He's trying to get to
doesn't
sleep.
stop. I just can't get to sleep. Yeah, honestly, God, everything. It's like fucking World War III's gone off. It's just chaos, man. And then when I'm going to work at night, it's just so quiet. You can hear a pin drop in the street, and
Yeah.
I'm just like looking around everyone's house, just going motherfuckers, and I just want to boot the car so the fucking alarms go off, and then I just fucking dart off to work, wake them all up.
But it's fine in the winter, but like in the summer when
Oh.
when it's absolutely roasting during the day.
Mate, when it was like last month with the weather we had last month, it was
Yeah.
close to fucking impossible, mate. Close to impossible. I could have gone on a fucking rampage murder spree. I could have. Cut off. but it didn't happen. But other than that, mate, no, I've watched a couple of movies. Obviously,
Let's talk about him.
Oh, right. Are we diving straight into this, are we?
Let's go for it.
All right, go on then.
So where do you want to start? Start with the first one then.
All right, because this one will be the quickest. So
Okay.
you very kindly sent me some beavers, which I
Genius.
really appreciated.
I know. Change the world. Change your life.
It'll change my life, all right. Took me a couple of weeks to watch it. I finally watched it yesterday because I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about it with you.
Ideally, yeah. Otherwise, it'd be a very quick show.
Exactly. And I watched it, and it's an hour and 17 minutes of my life that I will never get back. It is gone forever. This is hands down one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my life. And if anyone watched my Elm Street reviews, I would happily watch Part 5 and Freddy's Dead over and over again on repeat than watch some beavers ever again.
I am in shock. This is a classic, a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece of shit. That's exactly what it is.
Do you think? Go on.
The thing is with it, right? At the beginning, one of my favorite comedians, I didn't even know he was in the movie, Bill Burr, pops up in the beginning, and I'm like, oh, happy days. And I'm kind of expecting him to be in it throughout the movie. I wish he was, because he kind of would have made it slightly bearable, because the guy is hilarious. Because I know them two guys at the beginning.
Of American Pie. This is from the producers of American Pie, Cabin Fever, and The Ring.
They're either lying to you or they just couldn't give a shit on this one.
See, I definitely, I don't think it's taking itself too seriously. I think
No.
that's the main thing.
Thankfully, no, it doesn't. It knows exactly what it is. It knows it's terrible. It knows just to get you to sit through and watch the movie, it has to throw the occasional pair of tits at you a few times. It was the only reason why I was watching it, because I'm thinking, right, when's she going to get her top off again? Will she get her top off?
Exactly. Can I just point out, though, it does say Twitch Film reckons, or, unequivocally says, Zombievers is a damn excellent. It's damn excellent.
Mm.
Let that soak in for a second.
Hang on. I've just developed a blood clot in my brain, or what's left of it anyway.
Exactly. It is what. Hey Pat. Hey Lillian. It is what it is, and this is the thing, Dave. It's a B movie, and it knows it's a B movie.
Oh, 100%.
It's definitely going for the. I'm sorry about the phrase, but it's definitely going for the tits and ass.
Oh,
sort of.
100. That's the only reason I stuck around. I did not stick around for the zombie beavers. I did not stick around for them. Oh, the first time you see one of them, I laughed so hard. So hard. And I wasn't watching on my own. I was watching it with someone. I was putting her through it because she hates watching shit like that. Just watching her reaction to that movie was the most entertainment I had. Not even watching it, was just watching it, constantly going, "Why am I watching this?"
I'm curious. What was the opinion of the other person watching it then?
Oh, it's just same as mine. We had to tuck into like a couple of bottles of wine just to get through it. To be honest, but it was so much fun. I mean, for that, it was so much fun because she hated it. But the way I will give the movie some credit, there were a couple of funny moments where I generally did laugh. Like, it did make me laugh. But overall, oh my God, man, I will never ever watch this movie again. One of the other points where I laughed really hard at, I never expected them that if they get bit and cut, I should have done really. It's fucking zombie movies. But when they get bit and cut by a zombie beaver, you pretty much turn into one. You don't actually turn into a beaver, but you turn into like a humanoid version of. The first time I saw that, oh, I nearly choked on my wine. And then I was thinking,
this thing on the back in it.
Yeah, and then I was thinking to myself, because it's the blonde girl that changes first, and I'm looking at her thinking, yeah, I probably still would. Bit too much teeth, but you know.
Well, I'm glad you got some enjoyment out of it.
Oh, mate. Well, yeah, I had to, because if I would have watched that on my own, I don't think I would have made it till the end. I really don't. I think I would have just gone, nah, fucking life's too short, bang. And it's not even that long, but like I said, it felt it, man.
It felt longer.
Just felt it, yeah. It just felt an hour and 17 minutes, and I kept checking the time. I'm like, there's only fucking 30 minutes have gone. No. I've been to the toilet twice already. Just trying to get time to pass.
Like I say, for me, I think the writing was on the wall when I first turned it on, and it was almost like a Turtles Secret of the Ooze style beginning as to how they ended up being. It was just genius the way they used that.
Yeah.
But it was some sort of ooze that fell into the river.
Yeah, it was. And with the opening with they have like Bill Burr there, and I don't know who the other guy was, but like just the rapport they have with each other is probably the funniest in the movie, and you could probably tell that was probably ad-libbed between them. Yeah. Because the comedians or whatever. So like I was laughing at the beginning of it, and I was kind of like, do you know what? All right, I know what kind of movie we're getting into. You should already know that with a film like fucking Zombievers anyway.
You can imagine they literally went, look, what do we say here? And they're like, just do whatever you want to say, whatever.
Do whatever. The movie Zombievers, it really doesn't matter. Talk about anything. No, it just doesn't matter.
Well, thank you for watching it and giving us that in-depth review. So, now you've turned everybody off to that.
I hope I have. Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
It's still an amazing movie. What was the second one you watched?
Well, the second one this afternoon, I had the pleasure or displeasure. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I'm so conflicted. I watched Rubber, and
Hey,
it was, what I will say off straight away, it was not what I expected at all. This
I mean,
film
I'm
was
curious.
quite intelligent.
Going into that movie, what were you expecting?
Well,
Like before you put that Blu-ray in or whatever it was you watched it on, what did
Yeah.
you go? This is going to be what? What did you think that was going to be?
I'll be honest with you, mate. After some Beavers, I was just like, just please be slightly better. Please don't do this to me. Just be slightly better. I was just expecting it to be just typical fucking schlock, like, you know, just there's a tire going around killing. Like, that's just what I expected. But I did not expect what the movie gave us, like, at all. Like the opening of it, I was baffled. I was just going, what's he going on about? Like when the sheriff's talking and stuff, he's saying like, oh, like the no reason effect kind of thing. And I'm just sitting there watching, and I'm like, he's pretty much talking about this movie. He's pretty much saying to the audience, look, listen, it really doesn't matter. Like, don't just go along with it. And I kind of ended up doing the same. I was like, well, okay, the movie's telling me to just chill out, relax, sit there, just accept what's happening in front of you, and don't try to question anything because there's no reason. Just crack on.
It's by far the best Killer Tire movie you'll ever see.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I wish I had like a little mask on it though, that just stayed where it is. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you what, I will say this. The movie is extremely well directed. I love the cinematography of the film. Like, that really surprised me.
Yeah, how do you get that passed by the studios? I've got an idea. What is it? It's about a killer tire.
Yeah, but but weirdly enough, it's a bit more than that as well. Like, it goes into stuff that you're just like, what is going on?
This tire has feelings.
Yeah, this tire, you know, sees this girl, and I think like fucking fancies her. I don't blame the tire, to be honest with you. I'm like, and he named the tire Robert. It actually has a name. And so I'm going along and I'm watching this movie, and I'm actually getting to a point kind of halfway through with this film where I'm like, I don't know whether I am hating this or slightly enjoying it. Like, it's intriguing me. And that is a massive compliment to the movie, because I already had this preconceived notion I was going to hate this. Like, I was going to hate it. Absolutely hate it, and couldn't wait for it to be over. And I ended up watching it completely, like, intrigued by what was going on. And it's generally funny in places as well. Like, the guy that plays like the main sheriff, like he had some cracking scenes in it. You know, it caught me by surprise. I was 100% prepared to come on here and rip this film apart. And the fact that I haven't done that is a compliment to the movie. And I also slightly respect it, because this film is unique. You won't see another movie like this at all. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know yet, man. I don't know. I have to watch this film again just to see where I fall.
Which side of the fence you're on?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. And I know that sounds stupid to say, but I don't know. But we're sitting here with you now talking to you about it. I'm leaning towards, like, I liked it overall. Like,
it's a very, very unique movie, and like you say, it's well shot, well directed.
It is well shot, yeah.
And but it's
well acted as well. Weirdly enough.
Yeah. I was just about to say that the acting is that they're really going for it, aren't they?
Yeah. Compared compared to some beavers, which Jesus Christ, that's some of the worst. It's not even acting. And anyway, we're not talking about that movie anymore. But they were generally good. That's another thing that just threw me off. I'm like, this is some good acting.
It feels like you've been sat there all afternoon going, I don't know what to do.
Just confused, mate. Just massively confused and just like, I don't know myself anymore. 42 years old, and for the first time in my life, I'm like, I don't know who I am. What's going on? I think, do you know what I think it is? I think I've watched so many fucking bad movies recently. The rubber fell in at the right time for me, to be honest. But another thing with it as well, like with Robert the Tire, and I'm going to call him Robert, it actually makes you believe that this tire is alive and has like a personality. And that is extremely hard to do when the tire doesn't say a fucking word. Like a tire shouldn't. A tire is not alive. It can't talk, but it gives you a sense of like the personality to it. And that is talented filmmaking. I don't care what, like, it's. Do you know what? I think I loved it. I think I loved it. I think with Robert, I think I've had like a real hate-love relationship with it. I really feel like I've tried to break up with it, and then I've realised how much I love it, and then I want to get back with it. That's what I feel like this is.
You see, the thing is that that's one of the funny things about Rubber. Is when we got to watch it, and it was me and obviously our friend Chris and Steve, and we'd sort of watched it. Steve sent a tire to Chris's house and called it Rubber, right?
Yeah.
And then about 6 months later, he was moving house, and we and him went down to help him. And we were like, "What about the tire?" And he's like, "Oh no, just leave it. It's stuck in the ground." I yanked that fucker out, and we took it to the next house. His missus was not happy at all. So, but then they've managed to leave it on the net on this house and move again. So Steve reckons he's going to send him a bigger tire this time.
Oh, should send him Robert.
But anyway, just a quick couple of things while I've got people here. So hey, Kathy again. Sorry if I've not mentioned it. Hey, Pat. There is, for those that weren't here at the very start, I will just pop this on for.
It's your birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
So obviously that's Big Steve, his birthday today. When he's not here, thank you very much for not joining in, Steve. I appreciate it, but I hope you're having a great time. And obviously a massive friend of the show, and hopefully, there she is, just in time. Our third co-host almost, Cherry. I hope you've had a lovely day. I did do the usual Facebook post to say happy birthday, as everybody has to nowadays, because that's like the law. But happy birthday, love. I hope you're really having a nice time today, or you've had a nice time today. But yeah, anyway, let's carry on. So I sat down and I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I haven't yet, mate. No.
So what drew me to it is obviously it won loads of awards, and it's like, well, it must be good if he's won awards, it must be good. But one of the things that he was saying, it was about a multiverse. So there's this lady in it, and she's, the best way I can describe it is she's harnessing. She ends up harnessing different abilities from different versions of herself in different universes. It's really, really bizarre, but it's quite a good movie. But it's got the guy in it. I say the guy, the young, I want to say Chinese kid from the Goonies. He's obviously no longer young anymore, but
yeah.
I sat there and it's this very similar movie to what you've been sort of watching when you're on the fence with it, because I watched it and I enjoyed it, but then I'm sort of thinking, I don't know if I'd watch it again. You know, there's so many different multiverse movies, especially around Marvel and stuff at the minute, and I think what they did it right, but it wasn't a movie that naturally jumped out at me. It was one that I was sort of, well, there's nothing else on. I'll just put it on. But I think that was a good 2-hour movie. But it's definitely worth a watch if you've not seen it, because, like I say, it's won loads of awards. But I don't know if I'd revisit it again. And then, like I said to you before, I tried to watch that Babylon. Big Margot Robbie fan, so I like to watch anything she's in. She's a very good actress.
Very
Stunning
good actress.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I sort of got through about half of it, maybe 3/4 of it. I don't know. It's not. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I might finish it off because I had to shoot out, so I had to turn it off a bit halfway through. About sort of halfway through, but that brings me nicely onto the Barbie movie and the hype around that Barbie movie at the minute. I was saying to you off air earlier that I think the reason that it's got so much hype isn't like the actors or anything, or that it's any good. I think it's more around what it's based on and sort of the history of that figure, if you like, the doll, similar to when it was like the Lego movie and stuff like that. And you know, I think will I probably watch it at some point if it falls my way. Hey Sophie, if it falls our way, I'll probably shove it on. But I think the critics are pretty much panning it at the minute, saying it's quite a self-entitled, self-absorbed movie. So, but then there's that other one that's come out at the minute, isn't there? What's it called? The other big movie.
Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan's.
Yeah, that's the one. And the critics were saying, you know, if you're sort of planning on doubling up and watching both of them, you know, it's a completely different sort of movie. It's a lot more serious. It's not something that you can go watch one and then the other. But that's getting some really good reviews at the minute.
It is, yeah, and that doesn't surprise me as well, mate, because like Christopher Nolan's probably one of the best directors working today. I think I've enjoyed pretty much everything he's done. I even quite like Tenet, even though that was a complete mindfuck. Like, you know what I mean? It was, but I enjoyed it. So I don't know much about Oppenheimer at all, like the history behind it. I don't know anything about it. But because Christopher Nolan's done this movie, I think he's like still one of the only few names in Hollywood that I would probably look and just say, oh, that's Christopher Nolan's directed that. I'm watching it, not knowing what it's based on at all, because I know I'm getting quality. Like I know that's what I'm getting.
I think that's the same for me. I think the thing is that I'm not massively clued up on a lot of the directors. I'll see a movie, and if I want to watch it, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But then there is a handful of directors that, very much like you say, if they bring out a movie, that's it. I'm going watching it. If it's like you say, if it's one of his, or if it's a James Cameron, or if it's definitely a Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, 100%.
Regardless of what it is. I mean, he keeps threatening that he's only going to do a certain amount of movies, and he might bloody do that. But I'd love him to just keep directing stuff. Yeah. You know, if it's a Martin Scorsese film, something like that.
I watched him on a podcast recently. I think it was on Tom Segura's podcast.
Yeah.
And he said that he's actually wrote like an 8-issue TV series. And I'm like, I would love that. Yeah. I would love to see him like actually do like a Tarantino series and then go on to do a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he never said what it was about or anything, but he says he has wrote a treatment for a show. And I'm like, well, already I'm sold.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what it's about.
The thing is, he's very much like Tim Burton. When Tim Burton was saying that he was directing Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, regardless of whether I liked the content or not, I would be watching it because it's Tim Burton, and he's got very much like Baz Luhrmann. He's got a sort of style to his movies, you know, and his style to the stuff he does, and you know, sometimes it's a bit wacky, it's a bit dark sometimes, and that was I think that was the ideal director for Wednesday, really. And I'm looking forward to season 2. Yeah,
I like how these directors that we're talking about, you can stick it on, not tell me what director it is, and I think probably halfway through is too long or whatever, but maybe 20-30 minutes in, I'd be like, this is definitely a Sam Raimi movie or something like that, because they all have like a unique style to them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think other like lesser filmmakers try to copy, and it's like you will never better what these people can. You will never match them. Don't even just have your own voice and your own style. Go your own way. Don't try and
Yeah.
like, copy them or whatever.
Yes, I'm just trying to think now. If there is a director out there that could do anything close to what Tarantino could do. I'm not even sure. I mean, even a lot of the movies that are similar to Tarantino movies,
Yeah.
he's assisted directed in it, or he's had some sort of input because his name's on the front of it.
Yeah.
But there's this, it's just they've all got a certain style of directing.
There's probably someone out there now who's probably just starting out or has just had a first movie out that could probably end up getting to that level, like who we don't not really on our radar yet,
Yeah.
But Tarantino's he's definitely a unique director and screenwriter, and he's just like, I think nearly everything he's done is pretty much close to a masterpiece. And even the ones that you don't enjoy that much, they're not a bad movie. You can't. No, you can't. I mean, I liked it, but overall, I wasn't like a massive fan of his last movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like for me, it wasn't one of his best, but I still watched it and went, yeah, that's better than a lot of crap that I've seen.
Came out that year.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing for me is that you're looking. I mean, I genuinely look forward to a Tarantino movie. Anything that I've not seen, I'm like, oh my god, I'm when it's coming out.
Yeah. It's like an event, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It could be about absolutely anything, really, anything.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
my
my favorite one used to be, pardon me, used to be Pulp Fiction. Was my favorite Tarantino movie until I watched Django Unchained, and that's just when that is my favorite Tarantino movie he's done. I love that movie, love it, and it went straight to it just went straight to his number one for me, and I was just like, this is going to take a lot to beat. Even for Tarantino, for me, this is going to take a lot for him to knock off my kind of list.
The thing is with Pulp Fiction ties a lot of things in, almost seamlessly.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of different events.
Yeah. And it's all out of order, but it still makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it still makes sense.
Yeah.
But then I like things like, as an example, something like The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Because it's a different type of movie where everything's enclosed.
Yeah.
The cinematography is amazing, especially when they're outside in the open. But everything's in an enclosed area. It's all contained in that one hut, should we say?
Yeah.
And that's very clever.
It could easily be a stage play. Easily.
Yeah, exactly. But then you look at something like the Hollywood one. He's got people playing characters.
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards. That's probably one of my favorites because I love the cinema aspect and and how that goes about. There's just so many different, but every one of them's different in their own way.
It's hilarious what happens to Hitler in that movie as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Christopher Waltz, what a performance, by the way.
What an amazing actor. What an amazing actor.
Yeah, fan. One of the best performances I've ever seen put to film.
When he's trying to negotiate, he's negotiating. He goes, "Oh, it's a biggie." How do you say? But that's that tension at the start where he's sort of sat there and he knows that they're there.
It's a great scene.
It's just amazing.
It's and even the other guy that's in that scene with him, I don't know who he is, but he's perfect as well. That's the thing with Tarantino movies as well. It doesn't matter who he casts in these films; they're all brilliant. I don't think there's ever been a bad
I think the thing is with that movie. I mean, Christopher Waltz wasn't a massively big name at that point, was he?
No, no, not for us.
I mean, you think about who's in the movie, and it's like there's no characters that sort of overshine the others.
No,
everybody that's sort of unknown brings their A game.
Yeah,
and you could look at it and just go, well, Brad Pitt's in it, so that's the star.
Yeah, and he's good at it as well. I've got to give props to him.
He is.
He's really good.
the fact that you walk out of that and go, that isn't just a
Yes.
Brad Pitt movie,
Yeah, correct.
you know, and then
It's-
the sniper story and everything, and it's such a classic movie. But it's
Even
one of
it-
those,
Even El Roth is good in it as the bear.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah.
He just seems to Tarantino just seems to get the best out of his actors.
Mm.
You know, it was like for Django Unchained, I think DiCaprio was just
Oh yeah, amazing.
unbelievable. Well, they all were like even Jamie Foxx, like Christopher Waltz as well. He was just so good in that film. Samuel L. Like everybody, but DiCaprio. Like for me, when I walked out that movie, I was like, man, like I know he could act, and I know he was a good actor, but
Yeah,
you'd
but
never see you'd
the
never
thing-
seen him like that before.
he didn't win the awards for
No.
that movie. You know, it took him ages to win an Oscar and what he wanted.
Yeah.
Hey Neil, he's put my favorite Tarantino movie is True Romance. That's
Yes.
an early one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very good, and he didn't even he wrote the screenplay to that, didn't he? He
Mm.
didn't direct it. If I
No, I don't think so.
off the top of my
But
head.
this is what I'm saying to you: is that a lot of the time he'll have his name attached to things, and you just know
Mm,
that he's had an input in it.
yeah,
Just by
it's an
the style of the
extreme.
movie.
It's an extremely good movie, but I would have loved to have seen a Tarantino directed True Romance. Could you imagine that?
Fucking
Yeah.
hell. But this is why it gets you excited when a new movie of his comes out. It's like, oh my god, he's doing one because
Yeah.
he's so they're so scarce. You don't see them.
Yeah.
They're not every other month or anything. You know, like everything else that's
Yeah.
going on at the minute, and it's like, right, there's another sequel coming out, all that sort of stuff, live action of this, live action of that.
Yeah.
You know, and it takes a lot for these things to come out, and when they do, I think they're right, and that's the main thing for me.
Yeah.
As regards to directors, now I know James Cameron is stuck up his own ass with Avatar 25 and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him do other things.
Yeah.
You know, Lolita was another one that he did, wasn't it? Alita,
Yes.
the Battle
Yeah,
Angel.
Yeah.
You know, I really enjoyed that movie, but that took some time to come out.
Yeah. I don't think I didn't. I could. Do you know what, man? I completely forgot about that movie. I don't even think I've seen it. To be honest with you, I had to think when you said that.
Really
Then I
good.
was like, what? And then remember, it came out like a few years back, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another one with Christopher Waltz.
Right. Okay.
But there's so many good directors now. I'd like to see what's coming out from, you know, some of, like you say, some of the new directors, and
Yeah.
but the thing is that unless it's a lot of the time, it's sort of a blind buy. If I don't really know a lot about the movie, I'll probably skip it unless it's someone, you know, oh, it's Brad Pitt's new movie or whatever
Yeah.
else. I'll give it a go. But this is a lot of the time when I buy stuff. I mean, I don't know if you've seen this, but I bought. I went to one of the CEXs the other day because I went to pick up The Staircase, these TV series.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's only on DVD, but these sort of things are only brought out on bloody DVD. That's the problem.
Yeah. I watched the documentary on Netflix about that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is really quite good, to be honest with you. But it's I'm trying to think who plays her now. But yeah, it was one of those that I watched it and I was like, as soon as it was like a $5 in CX, so I was like, well, I'll pick that up when I drop my son off from school to school. But I went in, and while I was there, I picked up Scream Park.
All right. Okay.
So the premise of this movie, by the looks of it, is it's a dwindling theme park that they decide that to get more attraction to the park, that they'd have a couple of gruesome deaths in there.
Right. Okay.
And then that would attract people to come there to where it happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks okay. I mean, the trailers are all right.
Yeah.
But then I also picked up this one, which is called Summer of Blood. From what I can gather, this is a bit more like In the Shadows. What We Do in the
Right, okay.
Shadows.
Yeah.
It's it says one of the best horror comedies in years about vampires, and I was like, well, I can see where that's coming from, because it was released in 2015, so it's probably about the right sort of time. but for a couple of quid, I picked them up. But when I watched the trailers of that looks pretty funny. So
Oh,
I'll
okay.
give them ones a go. But it's those sort of independent titles that I'm on about, where it's like there's some that do surprise you, and then like the last couple of days for you,
Yeah.
you know, you sort of sit there going, "What have I just done?" Watching that.
What am I doing with me?
Yeah,
Life?
what am I doing with my life?
It was
I
like
did-
some beavers nearly made me quit YouTube, mate.
Yeah. So Junie said, I was talking about The Staircase with a friend yesterday. Watched both the series and the documentary. Yeah, I find that stuff. Junie, the thing is that with these documentaries, I know Cherry will say as well, because we spoke about it quite a few times, but they're the sort of things I'm interested in. When Netflix sort of really hit its peak a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
you know, these sort of documentaries around things that generally happened in America, you wouldn't. They're so far-fetched that you don't think they would possibly happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that's happened 2 or 3 years ago, and I have not heard a thing about it. You know, and they just kept pumping them out, and The Staircase was definitely one that sort of gripped me, because the guy's genuinely in trouble with finances, and it just happens that his missus goes flying down the stairs.
Yeah.
You know, life insurance and all that jazz. But there's a couple of them. Like there was to Making a Murderer. That was one of them.
Yes, that was I watched that just open mouthed, mate. Just like wow, it's so obviously corrupt. Like you're watching that, and you're just like, he is innocent. I don't care, man. You're sitting like there's an innocent man in jail here.
Don't forget, the guy had just sued the police department
Exactly.
for thousands and thousands of dollars for wrongfully imprisoning him.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And then they did another series of it, and I'm like, oh yes, there's a second series. And it's one of those where you go from sort of the first couple of episodes, you're like, definitely did it, guilty as fuck. Don't give up, lying monkeys. The guy's done it. And then as it goes on, you're like, well, actually,
yeah.
no, I'm not sure how this is going now.
I know,
You
mate.
know, by the end of it, you're sort of picketing.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, hang on a second, free him.
It's fantastic TV, mate. It's just.
If you didn't see that on a documentary, you would not believe it.
No.
You know, and this is the stuff that when they churn this stuff out, and you sort of sit there. I'll tend to watch quite a lot of documentaries on whether it be Amazon Prime or Netflix, because I'm trying to get that same reaction as I did when those ones came out. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Don't Fuck with Cats is another one.
Oh, mate. Yeah. Yes, I did. Yes. Well, I did not expect. I just clicked on that, not really knowing much. I just knew it was a new documentary by Netflix, and like you say, at that time, mate, they were just hitting fucking home runs with nearly every single one they were doing.
Yeah.
And I was hooked on them at that point. I really was. And when I got like a couple of days off, I was just like, right, this is what I'm doing, basically.
Yeah.
And I started that. And my God, man, I have never. It got a reaction out of me so fast, especially with what he did to them fucking kittens. Man, I was, and I could feel it like in myself. I was like, I want to fucking kill this cunt.
Yeah,
massively. Yeah. Like it really upset me. And then the more it went on, I remembered in myself. I went, I remember this. Like I remember this case when he killed that lad in his room. But he filmed it, didn't he? And everything. He had that music playing. There was something in the back of my mind was like, I remember that name, or like what happened there. But it was very much like, but that documentary just wow, man. Wow. Like I've never felt anger like it. Like genuinely was like, oh, you fucking. And I'm kind of glad that they didn't really show. Well, they blared it, but it was horrific enough. Like, you know what I mean? It was horrible. Yeah. But, oh, mate. I forgot all about that till you brought it up.
Yeah, but this is the thing, is that, it evokes those emotions, and that's why we got really hooked on them. And it's like, look, trying to find the next thing to watch. But had it not been for someone like Netflix or Amazon, I wouldn't have had a sodding clue that these things ever happened. I wouldn't have had a clue that Avery sat in a prison doing time for something he clearly didn't do.
Yeah.
You know, and how much of a stitch up and how corrupt that they are over there.
It's so glaringly obvious.
Yeah.
That's
mean, the
what
thing is,
baffles me.
You know,
The most.
it's like Tiger King. You can be polarized over that, you know, as to what side you're on.
Yeah.
But, you know, regardless of what he did and what he's done, that bloody thing is a nutcase. That woman is a nutcase.
There's no, yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's now got control of his park, which is what she wanted in the first place. It's been turned over to her as damages. It's just so bizarre.
It's mind blowing, isn't it?
Well, what's she freaking called?
Oh, Carol
Baskin.
That's it.
Carol Baskin did it.
I'm surprised I got that. I'm so bad
Carol
with names,
Baskin.
man.
And the fact that her first husband just disappeared. You know, there's no chance that he's been eaten by tigers at all.
No.
He was never found.
Mate, I know. Did you ever watch the one? I can't remember what it was called. I can see like the fucking picture of it, but the one where they strapped the fucking bomb to the fucking pizza guy.
Oh yeah.
That one. And what I did not expect was Netflix actually showed the whole thing.
Him blowing up.
It didn't get blared. It didn't get fucking.
Went to the bank, didn't he? Outside the bank.
Yeah. And I actually saw that and I was sat there watching. I went, have I literally just watched a real life person
blow up?
It wasn't like blow up as you would kind of expect to blow up. It was just like this kind of red fucking cloud just came up.
Yeah.
And then he just dropped and it was like, fuck, bet you're that. I suppose you're not walking it off, are you?
No.
But that whole, I forget what that one was called. Oh, Evil Genius, I think it was called.
That's the one.
That one, she was mental.
Yeah. But again, that side of the pond,
you
would not believe it, would you?
Yeah, I felt so sorry for that pizza delivery guy, man. I felt so fucking sorry for him.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking shit morning he had.
I don't think
you know what I mean?
To be honest with you.
I bet he wished he called in sick that day.
Yeah.
You know, but that was another one. But yeah, you're right. Like at that point in time, Netflix were killing it with stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other one was what was the other one? We had the guy where he confessed to killing all these people, but he actually didn't do it.
Oh yes.
That freaking strange, weird fucker. That one. Anyway, that was really interesting. That just goes to show you just how mentally fucking tapped some of these people are. Like, why would you want to put yourself through? Like, why?
No. I think that the latest one I watched was the one about the family where the drunken kid drives a boat and ends up crashing it and kills a girl, and then it kicks off a chain of events. I forget what they're called now, but that's another American one. You know, and the dad tries to kill himself at the side of a road,
right?
Because he paid someone to shoot him, but they didn't shoot him properly or something, and then he starts turning to the turn of events show that he's paid someone to try and shoot him.
Jesus.
The Confession Killer, is that what it is? Is that the one about that's the one about the killer in it that was?
That's right. That was it, mate. Yeah, fucking well, spot on, because that would have bugged me for a while. Yeah, that was mind blowing. But the one that I need to catch up. So there's a few on there I haven't seen recently. I need to catch up on some of them. But the one that was doing all the killings in the 80s, real creepy fucky, break into your house.
Ted Bundy you're talking about?
No, but I watched that one as well. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. No, what was the other one called? Oh, Rodriguez was the guy's last name. He was fucking creepy looking. Oh, I forget what the documentary was called, but he would like break into people's homes and fucking
Yeah.
like kill you when you're sleeping and stuff and like eat. And that documentary actually scared me. Like, I don't really get scared, but for whatever reason, this one freaked me out. And I live on my own as well. You know what I mean? So I'm watching it at like stupid o'clock in the evening, and I had like my windows open. And before I went to bed, I closed every fucking window, even though it's like set in the 80s in America. And I'm like, this motherfucker ain't coming in my house. Nope, 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 nope. Making sure doors locked and everything. I'll try and remember what it was called. Ramirez, was that his name? Something like Rodriguez, something. The way he got caught was brilliant anyway, but
Yeah.
he could have got caught a lot earlier. And they have like police that was working there at the time, the detective on the case talking about it. And when you get like to the close calls and stuff, you just think, fucking hell, just 1 second. You know what I mean? Just 1 minute away.
Yeah.
It's like the little fine margins, you know?
I think about, well, I don't lose a lot of sleep over it, but I do think about this. Like, a lot of these serial killers from back in the day, like, there's no way they would have got away with it nowadays. Not with the advancements in technology.
Oh, they would have. Yeah.
Tracked. Yeah. You know, the camera's absolutely everywhere.
100%.
You fart and they'll find you.
Yeah.
You know, and
100%.
You know, these people that were absolutely feared, and
yeah.
I mean, there was that one about the guy who was putting, was it like threatening letters in a post box saying he planted bombs here, there, and everywhere. It was like it was to do with, was it Tesco?
Oh, okay.
I want to say it was Tesco or Sainsbury's or something, somewhere that had club card points or something like that.
Right.
There's a documentary, I think it's probably on Netflix. And he was basically sending out threats to the. He had like a chain of messages. Hey, Tonks, to the police, to the newspaper. The police started putting cryptic codes in the newspapers to try and communicate with him.
Right.
But obviously in a way that unless you were him, you wouldn't be able to figure it out, sort of thing. It was very clever, but they spent ages trying to chase him because he was saying, look, they either transferred all these club card points to him, that's obviously worth worth a load of money, or he starts sending out letter bombs.
Right. Okay. I need to check that out. That sounds freaking fascinating, to be honest with you.
So fucking clever, but obviously they didn't know where it was being posted from.
Yeah.
And the problem is, when it goes into the postal service, it's like by law you can't open them unless you are that person.
Yeah.
Don't matter if it's the police; they're not allowed to go through mail.
Yeah.
So, but they were being. I think Tesco were being held to ransom. Let me try and figure out who it was. Yeah, I think it says Netflix. I think it's called Real Crime, maybe. Supermarket heist Tesco bomber on Netflix.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it's really interesting how they managed to sort of stop it. But can you imagine sort of having these notes coming through saying that within this radius of people, I'm gonna send a bomb through the post. Unless Tesco
give some club card points.
Literally, he wanted like 50 of these cards sent out, fully loaded, sort of thing, trying to hold them to ransom. But obviously, the thing is that if they do them, every one of these sort of threats they get, so they were trying not to do that.
Not to do it, yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. But no, going back to that Ted Bundy one, that was fascinating as fuck. That one, but the guy, that's what's so scary about these people. Not all of them, because some of them are clearly fucking psychos, but just how normal he seemed.
Yeah.
Like, just, and even when he was like defending himself, like even the judge was kind of like complimenting him on stuff as well, like kind of how well he was doing and stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's like, wow, just wow.
Yeah, that was it. If the Tesco, it was Tesco. Thanks, June. It was back in 2000 in Dorset, I think. Threatened to harm
Yeah.
customers if he didn't get the club cards. Yeah.
Jesus.
But the thing is that the technology was advancing. So there were certain things that they could do, but there were still a lot of restrictions that they couldn't do. And they couldn't be sure that this guy didn't have a register of all of these different club card members.
Mm. And
obviously, if anybody got hurt, it would be because they were a club card member.
Yeah.
He went, Sally. Yes, yeah, it was Richard Edward Dyer. He went by the name Sally. Yeah, I remember now. What's the other one? What's that one David Tennant played recently?
Oh fuck.
Because he was another one that was cool as a cucumber, wasn't he?
He was. Hang on, I'm going to have to look that up because that.
Yeah, I'm going to do it now.
That will do my head in. I didn't watch it. I've watched the documentary.
It was based on the story of Dennis Nielsen.
That's right.
It was a real life serial killer.
Yeah.
That was mental. That was bizarre. I take you watch that one.
Yeah, I need to watch. I've watched, like I said, I've watched the documentary about Nielsen.
Yeah.
With the Nielsen tapes, I think it was called. I think that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think it came out a few years back. Yeah, that was that was
so where's the bodies? And he's like, well, where's the body? He went, oh well, there's some over there. There's some bits in the fridge. There's some in the wardrobe. Just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. That place must have stank bad.
But he had a routine, didn't he? He had a way that, there was almost like a process of the way he did things.
Mm.
They go from there to under the floorboards to when they started rotting away down there. Then he'd move it to somewhere else, and
just
the garden, wasn't it?
just blows your mind on it.
Yeah.
Just blows your mind how just certain people are wired, and you just think, why the fuck are you doing this for?
Yeah. But that, for me, they're more scary than any horror movie that you can put out there.
Oh, 100%. What that used to be like back in the day with Crime Watch. Crime Watch used to scare the fucking piss out of me.
Yeah.
Used to say at the end of it, don't have nightmares. Oh, fucking, well, I am.
Yeah, I am now. Cheers.
I am now, mate. Because it's real. It's real life. And real life is more terrifying than any fucking Conjuring movie or any fucking Paranormal Activity movie, even though they creep me out. Like, just real life crime is just far more terrifying.
The thing is, though, now, I remember watching that, like, when I was younger. It was always on, I think it was on the weekend or whatever. And then, like, the thing is, though, because I've watched, like, Peter Kay and that since then, and Peter Kay took the piss out of it, it just makes me laugh now, where he's going on about, like, there was no swearing involved in any of it. So I was like, right, you mother flippers.
Yeah.
Like, bring your hands up. This is a stick up.
Stick up.
And it just makes me laugh now. But yeah, back in the day, it was like that. Even the music was haunting.
Yeah.
Like, this could be on your doorstep. We are appealing for witnesses.
Weirdly enough, I remember one that was pretty much at the time. And I think I was about, like, I don't know, maybe 12, 13.
That's me, Dad.
And I was just like, that is literally down the road. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh no, I need to stop watching this shit. I'll stick with me fucking Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever.
With squishy things.
I'll stick with me squishy balls and me fucking me Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. I'll stick with that. I'll stick with Super Mario Brothers. I need to stop watching this. Need to start playing more Sonic.
Yeah, well, that for me is like I say, it's some of the stuff that we going back to the original start and some of the stuff that we used to watch when we was kids. It was just mental.
Oh, crazy, mate! Like crazy. I mean, my dad wasn't into horror movies at all, so my love for horror movies really did come from my mum. Because my
Really?
mum was, oh yeah, my mum was a massive horror fan. So a lot of the horror movies I watched were kind of like with my mother at a young age. Movies I should never, ever, 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 ever have been watching, ever.
Oh, little Dave's poorly today. Let's put a movie on, have some Lucozade. What
Yeah.
we fancying?
What do you want to watch? Do you want to watch Care Bears, Transformers, Friday the 13th Part 4? Oh, stick Jason on, Mum. Go on. He's all right.
Yay, Jason!
Jason.
Yay!
Give me little Jason squishy ball. Yay! Get him,
He
Jason.
loves it.
Get him, Jason. Hey, you want to watch Back to the Future, Dave? No, put Friday the 13th Part 4 on.
I just love how he mimics it.
Yeah.
Gets that knife, starts doing this.
Saturday morning, watch a couple of cartoons and then watch a Friday the 13th movie. Perfect.
With your Freddy glove on.
Oh, come on, man. It'd be hard to heat me Cocoa Pops with that on there. But yeah, man, there were films I should never, ever have watched, ever. When I actually think back, I just think, Mum, I don't know whether you were a great parent or probably one of the worst. And I don't know. God love her. God rest her soul. But yeah, there was just so many I shouldn't have watched. But it was a different era, man. And it never affected us. You know what I mean? You don't need like to try and say like film, like kind of affection stuff. Well, I don't agree with it to a certain extent. It never affected me. I never watched the Friday the 13th movie, then wanted to run outside and fucking stab people.
I think it takes a certain type of person, doesn't it? I mean, the
Exactly.
90s, especially the 80s and the early 90s, was all about, how computer games and movies were warping kids' minds.
What a load of shit. You've got it, for me, at the end of the day, if something like that's going to warp you or turn you, you've got to be kind of tapped in the first place.
There's got to be a trigger to it, ain't there? There's got to be, I think they didn't think in 20 years' time we'll be worrying more about social media than anything, but,
yeah.
Judy said she used to be a right 30 watching horror movies. I think that is, yeah. But it's not so bad now. Like thrillers with a twist to it. I think for me, when I'm watching, I do like movies that have twists in it because it keeps me, especially the ones you can't just easily figure out. Like, oh, I know where this is going. But I think, as I said, I think I've said to you before, but there is movies where I'd love to have not seen them yet. And it's like, there's that certain twist. It's like, the Saw 1 as an example. Something like that, where you sort of you're guessing what's going on. This guy is absolutely dead to the world.
So you think?
Yeah.
I will always remember watching that for the first time, and the end of that when the music's. I tell you what, that film's got some atmosphere. Like I love the first Saw movie, and when that music's kicking in at the end, and everything's kind of like falling together, and the next minute you just see Jigsaw, the body, you just see him just start getting up in the middle of the room. You're just like, fuck off. No way. And he just turns around to him and goes, oh, by the way, the key was attached to the chain. He had the key. If he wouldn't have fucking pulled the chain up, he had the key. It was all of that stuff. It was like, wow. Just fucking, I blew my mind. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
See, the problem is that while there has been a couple of good-ish sequels to that, there is nothing that's replicated it. There is none of them that have gone, you know what? That's just as good as the first one. No,
I would agree with you on that. I think the one that kind of come close for me was probably the second one. I thought that was a good little twist at the end. Yeah. But I think the first
is there, isn't it? The expectation is there is going to be some sort of twist.
Well, yeah, because like I say, it sets itself up for that now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I like the first 3 Saw movies. I stopped watching after, I think I got to 5, and I just went, do you know what? I'm done now. So I watched Saw 4, and I thought Saw 4 was okay, but it just, by then I'm like, do you know what? I can see where this is going now. Kind of, this is just going to get fucking churned out every year now. You know what I mean? And it's just the first. If they would have just kept it as a trilogy, I think it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Because they kill him off anyway.
Yeah.
So, but what I do like in the first, I think it's in the first Saw movie, where they make fucking Jigsaw look younger. They just look like a tracky top on him and put a cap backwards to make him look younger or something. It's like, oh yeah, there you go. Don't need any de-aging. Just put a cap.
No, there's no need for that.
Yeah, just put a cap on backwards and a tracky top, and you're good to go.
Peter said when the VHS and Betamax first came out, there used to be an old library van used to come round housing estate full of films that eventually got banned. Horror movie, or mostly horror. Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that myself, mate. Yeah, my God, man. Yes. Yeah. Fucking hell, back in the day. I remember that. Yeah. And he used to sell like really dodgy ones on the counter as well.
Really dodgy ones. Even watching Saw, it remains an amazing ending. It does, but like I said, the thing is that for me, I would love to have been in that position where I've not seen it, and you know, I've mentioned it a few times in a couple of my videos that I put out. But you know, when I buy these blind buys, a lot of times I'm buying them is I'm looking for that movie that surpasses anything I've seen.
Yeah.
No, it's like listening to music and you hear something for the first time and you're like, that's amazing. You know, not the sort of dribble that's constantly on the radio or anything like that, but something where you're like, actually, not only was the album amazing, but this song is now one of my favourite songs. You know, it's that sort of feeling that I'm looking for when I'm buying movies that I'm blind buying.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking for that. Actually, that's probably the best one I've seen all year. Or like Rubber as an example, when you sort of thinking about where am I going with this? Do I like it? Do I hate it? What's going on? You know, and Saw was very much one of those where I remember seeing it I think it was in the cinemas, and that twist at the end, and as soon as the music kicked in, that just made my whole fucking 2 hours of me sat here watching this. You know, trying to figure out what's going on, and it was right in front of us.
It's right the whole time. That's what
literally there.
Like I said, I was the same. I went to the cinema to watch the first one, and I think around that time, I think it was like 2004, 2003. I think it came out around then, something like that. I remember leaving then and then meeting my mates afterwards for a drink, just saying, I think I've watched probably one of the best movies I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah,
and I remember saying that. And Saw is definitely, when it comes to horror movies, the first Saw's in my top 10.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
But it's just perfect. It's so good.
It's so man, just the whole and it was made on next to nothing.
A lot of these are though. Yeah. A lot of the good ones are because they've got to be more. They've got to be, what's the right word for it? They've got to think outside the box. They've got to have something that stands out.
Yeah, and like you say, a good portion of it as well is just two guys in one tiny room with each other, and then watching them going along with the ride with them, trying to figure out what's happening.
Yeah,
you know, like as it's going on, man. I was enthralled in that movie. Like I was on the edge. When they say edge of your seat, that was literally me watching the first Saw movie back in the day, man. I was like, this is great. I love this. Because I love like mystery stuff like that. I love kind of like peeling the layers back as the film's going on. You know, don't just give me everything straight away. Like, just take your time. Like, just tease me. I like to be teased. You know what I mean? Just like
tease me a bit.
Tease me a bit. You know, just tweak the nipples a bit. You know what I mean? Just get me there to, you know. That's what I like. I'm not talking about movies anymore, mate. I'm talking.
Yes, I can tell. Slightly off topic. But yeah, that's the thing, good. You know. And there's movies that come out that do it absolutely brilliantly, and then there's ones that try and it just fails on its ass.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that gets absolutely raved by critics, and I've never really been able to get into it. Slightly off topic, but things like Crash.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that.
You know, that's got an absolutely star-studded cast. Probably this is going back to what we were saying a minute ago about budgets and stuff like that. You know, this sort of thing had everything going for it. Yeah. But I mean, it's Academy Award winner for Best Motion Picture, but I cannot watch that all the way through.
Yeah.
it's just it. But then you look at something like Paranormal Activity, like the first one.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Again, low budget.
Yeah.
The Blair Witch, the original.
Yeah.
Low budget, and
Yeah.
they turn into mega movies.
Mm.
And the problem is with Saw and stuff like that is they're like, right, okay, what are you going to do now? We need to. This is blown up. Hey, Chris, this is blown up. We need to do something quick.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I thought Saw 2 was a really decent sequel, considering how fast they kind of churned that out, because it came out like pretty much the following year, like they all did, really, didn't they? From then on in. I really liked Saw 2 a lot. I really did, and I thought like they obviously gave Tobin Bell a bigger role in that, which I thought he was brilliant in Saw 2, and especially in Saw 3 as well. And I liked Saw 3 as well. It was the weaker at the first 3, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. I thought like the traps and stuff were quite good in Saw 3 and that. It was just past then for me, really. Once I got into I think once Jigsaw was like killed off, for me, the franchise kind of ends there.
Yeah,
for me. And I know they kept like bringing them back for flashbacks, but how many fucking flashbacks can you have? It's just
it definitely become a trend in it. I mean, I'll go on to this in a second, but one quick one. Chris, Dave's kindly reviewed Rubber and Zombievers at the start of this, so go back at some point and watch that. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But just because you're in a lot later than I would be on your streams, just to point that one out. But he's definitely got some interesting points on him, so give that a chance at some point. I think they just do it to death. I think that's the problem with some of these, and it's a shame because a lot of these low budget ones. I mean, I'll give you another budget one, a low budget one. I know AJ, if he pops in at some point, he's just blind-eyed Boiling Point. Now, that is definitely a budget movie. It's on a budget, but what I appreciate about a movie like that, and Steve, the reason I'm getting away with talking about it is because Steve ain't here, because he usually doesn't like it. But AJ just bought the same box set I've got of it. But what I like about it is it's shot start to finish in one shot. So they did three takes of it, and it was the last one they used. What's that? Get out of the house. Fumes are killing us. What? Okay. Fair enough. Not sure what that is. But yeah. So, but I appreciate that film because of the. I mean, Stephen Graham is amazing in it. He's a
phenomenal actor.
Anything he touches is gold for me. I very much love whatever he does, but it was done by ironically, it was done by the director is the husband of a girl I went to school with.
Right. Okay.
Now I only found that out after I'd seen the movie because she started posting things on Facebook, and I was like, bloody hell, I didn't realise. But it's such a clever movie because of the way that it was filmed, and doing something like that in essentially one take. You don't want to be the one that messes that one up.
Yeah.
An hour into it.
Yeah.
You know, you really don't. But sorry about that. Can we go again? There's literally none of that. It's all in one take, and it's such a great piece of art to appreciate that. And whether the movie's great or bad, good or bad, I think the thing is for me is I respect
from a technical standpoint.
100%. You've got to know everybody's got to be on time. Everybody's got to know what they're doing. I mean, God knows how many times they rehearse that. And that's a long rehearsal of time, isn't it? An hour and a half or whatever, 2 hours a piece.
You've got to turn up and be on your A game, kind of thing.
Oh God, 100%. And that's. But I think those are the sort of lower budget movies that they've done. It has done well. It's done very well. But very much like Saw, very much those sort of movies. They're the ones that sort of creep up and surprise you. Yeah. We're talking about directors earlier on. And they're the ones that all of a sudden you're like, right, well, I'll be interested to see what they do next.
Mm.
You know, because if they can pull that off, can you
Yeah.
imagine what else they can do?
Yeah. Well, well, James Wan was with one of them with Saw, like the one half of Saw with the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I've followed both their careers ever since, and they do good work.
Yeah.
Like I quite like James Wan. Like I say, I really like the Conjuring movie. Really like the second one. I think James Wan did the second one as well. I think he did. I mean, I really like them movies. I liked one of the last ones he did. Was it Malignant? I think I pronounced that right. That was a very polarizing one, but my God, like that film was just nuts.
What's
Malignant. Have you seen
Oh
it?
yeah.
Yeah. Now that's a film that I went in blind, right?
Yeah.
Went in blind. Didn't have a clue what it was about. I just knew it was James Wan. And I'm like, well, I'm a fan of his. I like his work. I'm just, and like we were talking about before with directors, not knowing anything about it. I was like, right, I'm going to check it out. And it was during one of the many lockdowns that we unfortunately fucking had in that time. You know what I mean? So I could stream it. So I thought, right, fuck it, I'll give it a watch. And when it starts off, I'm thinking, oh, it's just like a typical haunted house movie or ghost movie or whatever. Yeah. I did not expect it to go the way it did at all. But my God, was I fucking on board with it when it happened. You know what I mean? I know it's, listen, man, it's a very polarizing movie. I think it's one of them movies you completely get on board with the absurdity of it, or it fucking loses you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I was on this side. I just soaked it up. I just went, this is so batshit fucking insane crazy that you're tickling my nutsack, and I'm in. And I just fucking ate it up, man. Ate it up. That whole scene in the fucking prison in the police station is probably one of my favorite fucking scenes in any horror movie I've ever seen. So just like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, I loved it. Loved it. But then when I spoke to a couple of my mates about it afterwards, they watched it and they fucking did not like it. And I'm like, fucking hell, am I in the fucking minority here?
This is the funny thing, and I get this with Steve quite a bit because we have a chat about stuff, and we do have similar tastes. There is, but it's nice to have an opposite when it comes to some of the stuff that he gets on with and I don't. You know, but that's what makes it interesting. But the thing is that there is many times where I'll watch a movie and I'll sit back and I'll go, I actually really enjoyed that, and I'll think nobody else will though. I can guarantee you, if I sat down with my missus and went, look, watch this, she'd be like, that shit.
Yeah.
You know, if I the things I'll recommend to Steve, I mean, me and Chris have a bit of a banter about it because Chris, Cooking the Haydens, he really loves, he'll watch B movies all day long. You know, there's anything that's like Jaws based or Jurassic Park based or anything of that ilk, he'll give it a go. You know, and you watch him, and the CGI is so unbelievably terrible. Yeah. You know that it usually has someone like David Hasselhoff as the main character in it. You know, that sort of thing. But I'll sit there and I'll go, you know what? That's nowhere near as bad as some of the dribble I've watched recently that was hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds worth to be made.
Which was big budget. Yeah, I had one recently this year, mate, and again, I completely get it. I'm in the minority on this, but I'm more so, and I will openly admit this, I'm a tiny little bit biased as well. So I watched the new Saw movie, the one where they're in New York and that, and I didn't particularly think much of it. It was a bit of it was a bit of a letdown for me.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly enjoy it. But then I watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which got
you said
slated to death, absolutely slated, and I watched that and I enjoyed it. And I'm in the minority. I completely get that, but I actually enjoyed it for what it was. And the thing is with that is as well, is like that was such an extremely low budget, but I actually thought it was put together really well considering how low the budget was on it. Plus the fact, like, I got to you know, I got chatting to the actor that played Winnie the Pooh in it as well, and he's a lovely fella.
Oh yeah, you're definitely biased there, aren't you?
I am a tiny bit, mate. Yeah, but I'm
Tiny?
not lying. I'm not lying when I do actually say, like, I actually did enjoy the movie. I did. I'd be open and honest at City and say to you, if I didn't enjoy it, I would say that.
Have you seen that yet?
But I preferred it to Scream. No, I haven't. No, not yet. I haven't seen that one, but I have watched the Nicolas Cage one. Oh, what was it called?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Willy's Wonderland.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought it was all right. To be honest with you.
I'm a sucker for a Nicolas Cage terrible movie. To be honest,
Oh God, yeah.
I just think whatever he's in, he puts 120%. You know,
the
and
one- what was it? Pay the Ghost or something it was called. He was in.
Yeah,
My God,
yeah,
it was
something like that,
fucking
yeah.
awful. Yeah, but there's so many of them that you. God, man, if I was to do like a Nicolas Cage bad movie thing on my channel, I think it'd go about 6 months.
reviewing them.
To reviewing them, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
want
now
to say
on
that.
number
I don't think-
635 of Nicolas
think-
Cage's bad movies.
I don't think I'd make it to the end, mate. The amount of alcohol I'd have to drink, I think my liver would just pack in by the end of it. But one of my favourite while we're on the subject of Nicolas Cage, while we've stumbled onto it, I love Nicolas Cage though. But one of the best bad movies he's ever done is The Wicker Man.
The bees! The
Oh.
bees!
I own that. I actually have it. I own it. I can put that movie on at any time and just fucking sit back and just love every fucking dumb second of it.
Yeah, I see. The thing is that I do own it, but I have a soft spot for the first original because the original was just so fucking trippy. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
scary, you know.
Yeah, it was back when I watched it. Yeah, but yeah, he got absolutely panned in it. Let's be honest.
Mate,
the Nicolas Cage one.
The fact he dresses up as a bear and fucking chins a bird is just probably one of the greatest scenes in movie history ever. I laugh every time I watch that scene. I laugh so hard. It's like more than any comedy I've ever watched. And the fact what I love about that film so much is it's played so seriously, but it's just so absurd.
But
and it's like, I know what the director was trying to do, but it's like you're failing at every single choice you make for this movie.
That for me is the reason why I enjoyed this movie.
I still need to watch that.
Mate, you need to see that. Honestly, you need to sit down and see it because he's literally taking the piss out of himself.
Good.
And it's so good. Because he knows he's made these choices of these movies, and the sort of setup to the movie is that he's gone down a route now where he's offered some money by somebody to, I think it was make an appearance or make a movie for him, this rich guy. And after the amount of dribble that he's put out over the years, there's nowhere else to go, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just the way that the way that they get him to do it, and it's like he's having to really act things, and it's just honestly, it's hard to explain, but he's so good. But that's just he knows what he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but the thing is with Nicolas Cage, man, he's a top actor. Like, you know, it's a shame, like the route that he went down to do all these like really fucking terrible straight to video. Like, that's how old I am. Like, well, straight to DVD, straight to Blu-ray movies, or straight to streaming now, or whatever it is. Remember them straight to videos? Well, some of them were fucking great. But he's still a top actor, man. He could still like get to the very top for me, I think. But that's
he's nowhere near done, is he? You know,
no. I mean, he's still like early 50s, I would say, something like that.
I bet he's actually older than that now. You know.
Do you know what he probably is? Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm going back to like Snake Eyes, and you know,
that's a good film.
And even that was sort of 10 years after the start of his career, isn't it?
You're probably right. Here we go. I'm going to find out. The thing is, I don't like these actors getting older because that means I'm getting older with them.
59.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that means we are getting old. No, Kuro, I haven't seen Pig yet, to be honest with you.
no, I haven't either.
It's poetic now that the straight to video B movie stuff is worth more than the blockbusters, and this is exactly it. And this is, you know, speaking of which, actually, this is well off topic, but this is just because Chris is still there. Chris, this is what I was on about the other day. Number blocks. So I've been into one of the charity shops, and it was like 6 for £2 or something. And I wanted this, the Tintin collection.
Ah, right, okay.
And I got this box set of Ben 10 for £2.
Oh, that's cool.
Ironically, but you see, the thing is that what I tend to do when I get home is if there's stuff that I'm not sure about, I'll scan them. And those number blocks, they're quite expensive. Now, obviously, a lot of the guys and girls who watch the channels, they're resellers. And I was saying to him to keep an eye out for them because, I mean, that box set itself, pre-owned, is sold for $39.99 for 2 DVDs.
Shit, right, okay.
But all of these, I think, are out of stock at CEX. So I think that was £20 trade in. Well, another one's £20 trade in, and one's like a tenner trade in. So it's like £50, which helps towards a lot of my collections and stuff, like UFO DVD, CD DVD. This was 50p and it's £4 trade in. So, but the thing, what's annoyed me is I paid £2 for this, and it should have had a lid. Now I'm not sure what the situation is with CEX, whether they take it or not, like that. But that's £30-odd trade in, and they sell it for 60.
Right, okay. Well, it's worth going in with it and finding out, isn't it?
Well, that's the question, but I mean, to be fair, the fact that it's a kids' TV program and the discs are immaculate is a rarity. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I picked them up. Slightly off topic, but never mind. But yeah, I picked up one of the things I picked up this week though, which I'm quite chuffed about, is the Clint Eastwood 35 years, 35 movies. I had a smaller box set of this. This is only the DVDs, like.
Yeah.
But like £22 for 35 movies. I was having that.
Yeah, you can't argue that, mate.
There's some great movies in there, like obviously Unforgiven, A Perfect World, Gran Torino.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's amazing. Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Used to use you as sandbags.
But yeah, so like I say, 35 movies of Clint Eastwood. I was like, that's just tickled the itch for any sort of any movie I could possibly want from him, really.
Yeah.
Because I had a smaller box set and it was only about 10 movies in it. Bloody pointless. But yeah, £22. I was like, I'm having that.
That's not bad. Is the Rookie in a part of that? Because I know it doesn't get the love it deserves, but I actually quite like that one. It's the one with Charlie Sheen,
yes,
isn't it?
1990.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, The Rookie. There it is.
Yeah, The Rookie. Yeah, it's actually not bad.
Is that Charlie Sheen?
Like yeah.
Oh, that's going to need a watch. If it's got Charlie Sheen in it.
Yeah. It's okay. It's I'm not going to lie to you, mate. It's not one of his best ones because it gets overlooked quite a lot. But I enjoy it.
Yeah.
In saying that though, mate, I enjoyed Vamp, and you fucking absolutely hated it.
Honestly, that was on another level of strange. That.
Listen, mate. Listen. I watched some Beavers for you, so we're even.
Yeah, exactly. No, that Metropolis. Kuro's just said, I'm definitely going to get round to watching that, Kuro. I'm not sure where I've just put it, actually. I think I've moved it downstairs so that I can watch it. But yeah, it's one that I've spent a bit of money picking that one up, so I'm definitely going to watch it. But when you see, like, it's so iconic with some of the scenes in it, especially like from the Queen Under Pressure video. Metropolis is a lot of there's a lot of clips from Metropolis, but it's a silent movie, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, cool, mate. Thank you. That's one I could watch this year. But other than that, I don't know if I've started going down a rabbit hole, by the way, because I've started picking up Doctor Who.
All right.
I remember watching them when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I never gave the newer ones any chance, really. Apart from I owned season 1 on Blu-ray. Anyway, same again. I went into a charity shop the other day. They had season 3, season 5, and season 6.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I want to go down that rabbit hole
of getting all the Doctor Who's? Do you know, that was just a show, mate, that I just never, even when I was a kid, man, I never got into it. Never.
I remember watching it.
And I tried.
Mm.
I tried, but I think I remember seeing my first Dalek and I thought, fuck that.
Yeah, you remember seeing your first Dalek?
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I picked up this little dude the other day. Slimer.
Oh, sweet.
I know. I was like, it's 2016. A pound or something in the charity shop. So I was like, I'm having that. It's metal as well, so it's probably one of those own bargains or B&M figures.
Yeah. That's cool, though.
Yeah. Speaking of Saw, I picked up this, right? I think it's from a bobblehead.
Yeah,
but
it looks it.
It was a woman on Facebook, and to give you an example, the picture was like that, like on the side.
Yeah.
And I was like, that looks well cool, that. And it was only like, I think she wanted $5 for it, and I was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. But to give you, like I say, it was like that when she took the photo, you know, on the side.
Yeah.
So I goes to pick it up one day, and she's like, yeah, here's a $5. She's like, oh, no worries, I'll get it for you. Here it is. I'm like,
what? A $5.
And then I was like, oh, cheers, thank you very much. I got in the car and I was looking at it going, that's just been broken off. A bloody bobblehead or something.
I've just had me pants down for £5.
Yeah. Yeah. Even for a $5, I was like, I've just been robbed. But it was honest, I can't explain it any other way. She took the picture and it was like that. You know, so close to the camera, it was unbelievable. Looked amazing, looked massive. I thought I was getting a right deal.
I had something similar to that, but it's not too bad. But I thought it was going to be bigger than what it was. Hang on, I'll give me 2 seconds.
Radio Gaga, thank you, Peter. That's what I meant. That's very true. I was wrong. I was very much wrong on that one.
So I've got 3 things here.
Come on, welcome to the where have you been scammed?
well, I wouldn't say I would.
Scammed you today.
Well, I was scammed on, well, probably the next one, but this one I wasn't really. It's still a decent size, but I thought it was bigger. But this was about like £40 but I still love it anyway, right? And it's my Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China statue. Look at that.
That's cool.
I love it, but it came across like I thought this was going to be
Absolutely.
so much more bigger than what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was about £40 and I was kind of like,
wow.
Is it worth £40? No. But I don't care. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then because I'm such a I'm a little bit of a gamer. Like I haven't really, well, I'm saying that I haven't been playing games recently, but I'm a huge fan of the game Last of Us that ended up being a TV show this year.
Yeah.
Love it.
Same. I love the game.
Oh, the first one, mate, is as close to a masterpiece of gaming as you can find.
Yeah, I think the thing is there was obviously, I'm back in the day with like Tomb Raider and stuff like that, and then I come across Uncharted and I was like, that's amazing. And then I had BioShock and I was like, that just scared the shit out of me.
Yes.
And then I come to this and I was like, as regards to a cinematic complete story from start to finish. That game just had me on the edge of my seat, wanting to just constantly play it.
Yeah.
All the way through it, and I finished it, and I was like, "That's probably one of the best games I've ever played." So when they were saying they were bringing it out on TV, I was like, "That's pretty good."
Yeah.
But go on. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
So I'll show you now. So these were advertised as I thought these were a lot bigger than what they were. It was like something you'd get out of a fucking Kinder Egg. So there's Joel. Right. Look at the size of him. Look. There's Joel. And there's Ellie. Right. And there's Ellie. And they're the same fucking size. Scammed. I'm sure this was about like £20 for this.
Really?
Seriously, mate. Yeah. Scammed.
See, I remember a similar story to the Jigsaw, really. When my son was younger, he was into, well, to be fair, he's still into SpongeBob SquarePants, right? And this woman on Facebook was selling this playset, and she did exactly the same sort of thing. I didn't read into it, but it was the same sort of thing as that. There was 3 of them, right? And it was right in front of the camera, and you couldn't see the perspective of any of the figures. It was just the playhouse and stuff like that, right? So, but she wanted like £2 or £3, and I was like, that's fine. I messaged her, is it still available? Yep, absolutely. Come and pick it up. Turns out it's round the corner, and I'm just dropping my mate off from work. I was like, I'll pick it up on the way back. And I was like, I think I've just scored a good in here for Little, and I've got these play sets. And I shit you not, she handed it over to me in a sandwich bag. It was the fucking Polly Pocket, right? SpongeBob's. Now, at the time, I just got into reselling, so I was like, you know what? Actually, I'll just have a look and see. And I ended up selling these things for about £30. I was so made up. Yeah, so there was an happy ending to it, but it literally, my face, she must have not seen me the second I gave her the money, and I'm like, you got a fucking bag in here, brilliant, yeah. And she just went like this, here's a bag. And all 3 of these play sets fit in one sandwich bag. And I'm like, well, there's no way I can give them to him. But I've still got another set, actually, because I sold that one, and then I found another one in a charity shop. So I've still got another set of them upstairs. But it was very much like these, like these Thomas things. So that they were like really small sets, miniature sets, and you had like the pineapple house, and then one was the Krusty Krab, and But yeah, I've had a couple of times now where I've thought something was considerably bigger than it was when I ordered it.
Yeah,
it's crafty dog.
It's just typical of us as males, isn't it? Always think it's bigger than what it is.
I knew as soon as I said that was coming out of your fucking mouth. I could just hear the spirit of Steve saying, "Just say that.
Just say it.
I'll clip it later."
These are one of my favorite little small things. So this is one of my favorite ones. I got given this by a mate. I've got an Ash from Evil Dead pop, which I love this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Love it. It's great, isn't it? And where is he? Them Funko soda things.
Oh yeah.
So apparently these ones are quite rare. But I got one of these.
Yeah,
so
a friend of ours had said that.
Yeah, so I got Ash
from out of it.
Got Ash, from the original Evil Dead movie.
No way, that's well cool.
Right, so what was it? Limited edition. 6. Yeah, there goes. I think there's like 6,000 of these or something. But I love it. But I'm a huge Evil Dead fan anyway. I've got
one of the
tons of stuff over there.
One of the latest ones I got off our friend Chris from his Whatnot that he did was Carrie. She's cool.
Oh yeah,
I like this one. So I love Carrie. It's an awesome movie. I prefer the original, obviously, to the latest one.
Yeah, that still looks cool though.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've just realised they didn't even afford her 2 feet. Just give her one.
She's got 1 foot.
This is disabled Carrie edition.
Disabled. Well, you got to include all.
There's nothing missing. It's literally like 1 foot they've given her. So it's obviously to perfectly stand it, but yeah, I didn't realise that.
That's great. I've just got loads of little ones everywhere,
Yeah, I have. I've had to try and
I'll lift it up because there's no point in me going up.
Are we
again.
going on a tour? Are we?
Well, you can't really see it, but just up here, just at the top.
No way, Junie. A friend of hers thought she got a bargain of a Dyson Hoover on eBay, and when it arrived, it was the toy version.
That is amazing.
Wow.
That is amazing. So just up, hang on, where am I going? Just up there, right? So when I was a huge fan of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? I loved it. But then there was a spin-off called Angel, which ended up coming out. So yeah, that right. So I've got the older box sets. Me mate from Jim Retro Emporium. He had like loads of VHS box sets. Yeah, and I've got the whole season of Angel all up there on VHS, just for show. And I've just got just for show, mate. Yeah, and I've got them all up there, and I've got like some Angel figures just in front of them as well. But I've got Angel.
The fact that you've actually gone to the extreme of getting the Angel figures.
Yeah, oh, I love it, mate. Love it. And but I've got like I've got the show on Blu-ray box set anyway.
Yeah.
So that's up there somewhere.
And I think those ones were. I think a woman on Facebook got wanted like a tenner for each lot. So I got the Buffy ones for a tenner, and I got the Angel ones for a tenner. So it didn't work out too bad, to be fair.
That Angel was such a good show, man. I loved it. I started preferring it to Buffy the Vampire Slayer at one point.
Yeah, at one point, yeah. I mean, I got like Xena the Princess Warrior. That's another one that's up there. And then I've started. I don't know if I'm ever going to find any more, but the Hercules.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a blast from the past. That one.
Yeah, well, obviously, it's where Xena started, wasn't it? She started on Hercules. But that was proper like 90s Sky One-esque sort of TV. That was, wasn't it?
Absolutely, mate. It was, yeah.
Have you watched the Ashley versus the Evil Dead, like the whole series yet? Because I haven't got through them all yet.
Oh yeah, mate. I loved it. Absolutely. I'm so heartbroken it got cancelled at season 3 because the way season 3 ends, it doesn't leave it like open.
Yeah,
I would love to have seen it like carry on the way it was going. It would have been so interesting. But
see what else done with it.
I absolutely fucking loved that series, mate. It was just everything that I wanted. Honestly, it was just everything that I wanted. Just a dumb old Ash back in and the dates are back, and it's just mate. So Bruce Campbell is just a fucking, in my eyes, it's just a legend.
Junie's saying, "Don't diss Angel. She loved it."
Oh, I'm a fan, massive fan. Spike was awesome. Spike was awesome. Oh, I was a huge fan of Angel, man. Like, well, I've got the figure. You wouldn't be on the shelf if I wasn't.
To play with, okay?
Yeah, I've got my figures. I play with Angel every night.
Transformers going pew 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 pew.
Oh, I'll show you this. Actually, this is Buffy related. This cost me. No, you tell me whether I've had my pants down or not. But this cost me 50 quid.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it pants down probably. But hang on.
Okay. While you do that, I'm just gonna go through a couple of books I've picked up this week. So I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange. So I've picked up The Mysterious World of Doctor Strange, which is quite cool. That's a nice little book. So I picked that one up today a couple of days ago.
Okay.
1 second before you do that.
No, go ahead. Yeah, no worries, mate. Go ahead.
The Flash Celebration, 75 years. One of my favourite Marvel characters, this.
Oh, awesome.
DC, sorry.
Have you watched the movie yet?
Marvel. What's that? No, not yet.
The movie yet? All right, okay. I'll give you
I picked up one. These were from Charity Shop, these. Deceased, which is Captain America on it, but the artwork in it's really nice.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
So that's the end is here. So I'm looking forward to that one. And this one's a bit of a blind buy. This is actually a proper book by the looks of it, which is Batman Nightwalker. So, like I say, it looks like it's a proper book. So what's that say? Oh, okay. It's signed.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's interesting. This is before there was Batman, there was Bruce Wayne. Oh, but like I say, it's a proper book, so that'd be interesting. I'll have a look into that. I didn't know about that signature. Go on, sorry, go on.
Story. So I got a statue of the Master from the first Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool. That
it's awesome, isn't it?
Was that from like a DVD box set or something, or is that like a?
I'm not too sure, mate.
Not NECA or anything, is it on the bottom?
It's not. No, it's not NECA. No, I don't know. It might have come with a DVD or whatever. I'm not too sure, but yeah, as soon as I seen this, it was like, fuck it, I need to have it.
Where did you pick that up from then?
That was at my mate's place over here. So we used to have a shop. We'd say like, he will sell stuff like this.
Yeah.
And he originally had it for sale. It was like 70 quid or whatever. And he gave me it for 50. And that's where I got like a lot of my Angel stuff off him.
Bloody hell.
Like, next to nothing. But like, you'd sell them for like £30 and stuff. But he gave me them for like a tenner each and that. But,
that's all right.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Oh, he also... God, I've got so much stuff from him. Like, got like a Freddy Krueger from him back there. I've got like...
Yeah.
Like, he gives me this. Look at this little guy. Look at him.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all right, isn't it? And I got the Exorcist one off him as well there. But yeah. So, but yeah, I have to, just since we were talking about Buffy and Angel, I just had to show him off a little bit. Because he gets no love on my videos because he's right up the top. So you don't really see him that much.
Bloody hell.
But yeah.
So what's coming up for you then in the next week or so? Have you got anything planned?
Well, I still need to get my Freddy vs. Jason review out. I was hoping to do it Wednesday, but something ended up coming up, and I was going to do it today, but I ended up like watching Rubber and getting ready.
Fair enough, it's understandable.
Exactly, and getting ready for this instead. And then tomorrow, I'm actually on the boat across. I'm going to Blackpool for my mate stag do this weekend. So I'll try.
Blackpool.
Yeah, we're going to Blackpool. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it's going to be messy, mate. So we're on the boat. We get the boat here to Heysham. Our boat's 8 o'clock I think 8 o'clock in the morning or 8:45 in the morning. So by the time we get to Heysham, we'll be like 12:30, and then we're just heading straight to Blackpool. And then I think it's just going to be fucking carnage from then.
Do you not think it's going to be like that movie, like The Hall Pass, where you're literally like, right, guys, it's getting on to 7 o'clock now. Should we head back to the hotel?
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying, you're getting to a point now at the tender age of 42.
Oh, I know, mate.
You might be going, it's a bit bloody loud in here, lads.
Listen, mate, I'll be tucked up in bed by 8 o'clock.
Yeah, wild child. Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be fun. I think it'll end up more like The Hangover, mate. I think we'll lose him. I think we'll leave him somewhere. Yeah,
and not be able to find him the next day.
Yeah, and all this will happen before 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so I'm doing that. So I'm hoping I'll get my review out before I go tomorrow. If not, I'll have the review out on Monday or something. But I'll post something out to let people know. Just
worse for wears because you're on a 4-day hangover.
I will be. You'd be able to tell as well. I'd be extremely hungover filming this video. I might. Do you know what?
I might really like the movie. Can't be asked to talk about it.
Yeah. See you later. What I might do is I might film a review after this. I might just film it and get it done.
I'd use your positive energy to do that because I don't think you'll be doing it at the start of next week.
No, I don't.
Because you'll be at least hungover till Thursday.
Fucking God. Into fucking a Thursday in September. Yeah.
Why is this fucking headache not gone?
So I might just film it tonight and then put it together and then like upload it tomorrow as I'm traveling or whatever. So I've got that, and then I've got at some point I've got to do the Friday the 13th remake and the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which I'll probably get done at some point next week.
You heard anything about this?
I haven't. No, I'm not. I've got to be honest with you. I'm done with Halloween. Halloween Ends just fucking finished me off. I always say, like film. I always say this on my channel as well, and I always like trying to be diplomatic. Film is subjective, and everyone's opinion on film is different, and that is fantastic. Because if we all like the same movie, the world would be fucking boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, true.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And variety's the spice of life and all that shit. But I cannot understand how people like Halloween Ends. I can't. My brain does not wrap around that at all. I can't. I just can't. I try to understand, but I just can't do it. And like, if you have you seen Halloween Ends yourself before I even keep going?
Yeah.
All right. And how like some of these fans love the character of Corey and all this, and I'm like, I just can't.
It absolutely fucked me off. The way
thank you.
Movie.
Thank you. So you're the same as me then.
The trailers.
Oh,
made it like there was a big fucking epic battle.
Yeah.
This is it now. This is definitely it.
Yeah.
And I waited so long in that movie for all of about 4 minutes worth of scene.
Yeah.
That everything else in that movie didn't make sense. Like, I was quite happy the way they got rid of him in Halloween, like the new Halloween. Not Ends, but the first of the trilogy, if you like.
No, I get you.
I could have quite happily watched that and gone, you know what?
Me too.
She's been tortured for years.
Yeah.
She's finally put that thing to bed. There's no way he is surviving that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Job done. But then to sort of turn it into a trilogy, even the second one wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good as the first one.
No, I remember when I watched Kills for the first time, I think I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
It was something like that. Because there were points in that movie that I did enjoy. Like, I did enjoy quite a lot of the Michael Myers stuff.
Yeah.
In Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Not all of it, granted.
No.
And I couldn't stand the subplot they had with the other mental patient and the hospital and Evil Dice, and I was just like, what is this shit? Like, what are we doing here with all that? And ultimately, overall, I didn't really enjoy it. But I'll tell you something, I appreciate Halloween Kills a hell of a lot more after fucking Ends. A hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, I can go back and watch Kills now and be like, yeah, it's actually... It's not bad compared to Ends.
Yeah, and this is it for me. That's the same sort of feelings, really. But anyway, I think either you're starting to glitch a little bit, or I am. So I think what we'll probably do is we'll call it a day, because it's getting up to 2 hours nearly now. And if this was Steve, he'd have been in bed at least 20 minutes ago, I reckon. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in and spending the time with us. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm so grateful to Dave for popping on and being a much better looking version of Steve, and having better opinions on having a lot better opinions on stuff. And we've managed to get through the whole thing without talking about Transformers, so that's always a bonus. Very little Marvel, only the books. So we're all new subjects tonight. But thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to Dave. Don't forget to check him out if you don't already at Savage Zombie Reviews. He's such a great guy. I think thank you, Junie. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I wasn't feeling it tonight, and I'm so grateful to Dave for keeping me occupied. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, buddy. We'll speak to you soon. Let me just get the ending up, and we'll see where we go. Take care, guys. Bye.
See you later.